all I've heard from over the West is Freo kicked themselves out of it, but I'm sure you don't see it that way.
No,
I'm
lucky to be in it.
Yeah, correct. So, do you have a memory from 13? Is there something that stands out?
So I keep going back to 13 prelim, which for me was the greatest game that I've ever been involved in, other than grand finals. We'd had a long history with Geelong, like a long history, and to the point where if we had lost that game, I don't know what would have happened. Like it was a mental battle that we had to get over. So that fourth quarter in the prelim to then get ourselves into a grand final after losing the previous year was unbelievable. The 13 grand final, the only really one I think Ruffy's told is we were comfortably up at halftime, and Hodgie sensed that the group wasn't on edge for the second half, and he made this speech that basically went along the lines of, I hope Fremantle come out and kick the first 5 goals because you boys aren't switched on. And sure enough, they came out and kicked the first 4 or 5 goals of the second half.
Cheers, Hodgie.
We're all looking around going, what are you doing, mate? So then we really had to battle that last half.
Yeah.
And then, so you win that 14 for the fact that we'd lost the best player in the competition in Bud.
Yes.
And we're playing them in the grand final. They've beaten us in 2012. They've now got one of our good mates and arguably the best player in the league on their side. So that was one of those ones where we were just mentally tough. Like there was no way that they were going to beat us. We were going to physically attack, not only him, which was not natural. You right, bros?
He's good.
Which was not natural, right, to go after one of your mates. It just wasn't. But we knew that was the day that we just had to do it for 2 hours.
Right. Anyone get sent to him?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
John,
give him a nudge.
John didn't get put back in the back line until late in his career, so he wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah, no, there was some words said, which was put him off his game a little bit. So then that happens 14, and then 15.
We can talk about 15.
Yeah, we want to go there.
I actually remember. I actually remember that.
I remember it was bloody hot, and all the talk leading into that grand final was like, I mean, West Coast are favourites. They live in the West. They're used to this heat. Well,
I see this as your best win, and you can see however you like because you did it. But West Coast beat you in a qualifying final,
correct,
at home.
Yeah,
and pretty easily, 40 points or something, like rolled you.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. So we go. Yeah, no, you're right. So qualifying final against you guys.
Yeah, and we were hot. Like you couldn't. Our mids got high, forwards kicking goals from everywhere, and it was like one of those games that. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And we just rolled you.
Yeah.
And we weren't expecting, you guys were favourites probably.
Yeah.
Maybe, don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so we come back and play Adelaide. I don't know whether it's Adelaide, but we knew we had to go back to the West. So that, because
the Dockers were top 2.
Correct. Yeah. So we were written off after that game. We were written off. So then we do that, and then we go over, play Fremantle, have a good win over there. I think it was like a Friday night.
Jeez, I was cheering for Freo.
Yeah, and I imagine that West Coast Fremantle.
Well, like if you think from our point of view, right, who do we want to play? We want to play the 2-time defending premiers who know how to win a grand final. Well, you want to play the Dockers at the MCG.
We only won by I think it was like 20 points.
Yeah, it was a couple of moments. Tommy Sheridan had a moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Cyril lurking.
Yeah.
I remember talk of the West, like, is there a chance they'll move the grand final to WA?
Yeah, right.
Every fight in the world
thinking.
out of Perth would have been,
Yeah.
But you guys beat Freo.
So we beat Freo. We travelled back on the Saturday. My wife goes into labour on the Saturday night.
Really?
So young Freddie was born on the Sunday, leading into grand final week. So it was a really good week in a sense that I had the house to myself, so I could just chill out. I'd just go into the hospital, visit Freddie and visit Lucy, and then we'd ask the doctors and everyone to see if it was okay if Lucy came to the grand final and brought Freddie. So I got this great photo of Lucy sitting in her seat, the bassinet sort of on her lap, and Freddie asleep, and then the game just sort of going on in the background.
Wow.
And then when the game had been finished, as you do the lap, and Lucy was holding Freddie on the sidelines. I thought, I'm just going to take him. I'm just going to take him out into the middle, and you don't sort of realize how small they are, right? You're just so soaked up in this emotion. He was 1 week old. I copped a bit of hate for that, but fuck him.
You're the dad.
Yeah, and so then I sort of had Freddie in my arms and got some great pictures of that day, and great to sort of show the family.
Well, I'm glad that's a good memory for you, mate.
Yeah.
It's a shocking year for me.
You got your chance.
Well, correct. But 2015, can you remember, like, tactically, we can talk a little bit of footy. You guys, again, experienced side, won three, a lot of you three-time premiership winners, and you get beaten by us 2 weeks later. I would say from our point of view, young side, never been a grand final. One bloke, I think Sharad Wellingham, Zave was with us as well.
Yeah.
So it was two guys playing a grand final. No idea what we were walking into. It's like, well, we beat them 2 weeks ago, so we'll just beat them again.
Yeah.
We'll just do what we just did.
Yeah,
Like,
it was very much about the MCG. Like we played the MCG really well, and it was one of those things where you do look for any mental advantage, right? So you guys had never been involved in the parade. You've never been involved in that week, and
I felt like I was Hollywood.
Yeah, and we
on.
every single grand final, right? We were underdogs except for 2012. So if you go back and read the papers, we were not the favourites. 2012 we were, we botched it. But yeah, you guys were favourites. Fremantle were favourites. Sydney in 14 were favourites, and clearly Geelong in 08 were favourites.
Wow.
So that was always good motivation.
So the experience you think was an advantage?
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And it was. I can't remember the theme, but I think we would always break from the season, and then the finals we would always go away, and then we'd get really good content from that, because you'd sit around a fire and you talk about what it would mean to play in a grand final, and quite often it was young kids that hadn't played in one, what it would mean to them, and that would get shown before the game, and you'd sort of have goosebumps, and all this sort of stuff was running through. But at the end of the day, we just said, hey, we've been here, we understand that. The enormity of it, and we just felt really comfortable in that position. And yeah, I think if you look at the games back, it was, we were really calm on grand final day, which is always pleasing.
That was just a little teaser of our full episode. They're out Wednesdays on YouTube, and you can listen to them wherever you get your podcasts. Go on, get out of here.